Toujours dans les enquêtes locales et Whitechapel, on va continuer à regarder un petit peu ce qu'on peut faire pour aider les gens.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
That woman is as depraved as Jezebel, and she deserves the same fate.
Really? Why is that?
This woman runs no medical facility, but a temple to the false prophets of science and debauchery. And she has many accomplices, I heard.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of... Well, you...
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
I have heard enough. Goodbye. Good evening,
pas que ça
Mr.
allait
Whitaker.
mettre
His
fin à toute la
father
discussion.
Whitaker, my son. So,
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
no. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Sainte Croisade. Pour ça, il va falloir changer de zone.
Protection against malevolence and trickery.
On est venu la dernière fois, on a fait un peu de ménage. D'accord, ouais. Sans qu'il se déplace. saloperie. Le mec est en train de siffloter tranquillement à côté. Urgent celui-là. Non. Putain, leur système de cartes, il est... Ah. C'est pas celle que je recherche. Je vais regarder si sa mission... Putain, l'interface elle est... Casse-pied, je suis désolé. C'est la dame qu'on a sauvée.
Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel.
D'accord. Donc en fait c'est ici que ça se débloque. Moi j'ai tourné en rond là-dedans pendant un petit bout de temps.
No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker.
Putain, ah la déco.
Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail. It's locked.
Elle va me dire encore qu'elle cherche son mari.
Shouldn't you go back
qu'elle
home,
l'attend.
where you'll be safe?
Maybe later. But for now, I need to talk to my husband at the cemetery, Mr. Reed.
Ça aurait été sympa de pouvoir lui poser des questions sur notre ami Samuel.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
Journal intime. Le père Whittaker est si vertueux, si plein de compassion et l'amour pour ceux qui souffrent. Ses paroles sont tout ce dont la ville a besoin. Ce soir, je lui ai donné tout ce que je possède, ma force, ma foi, mon argent. Et si cela ne suffit pas, je sais où trouver plus. 17 octobre, le père Whittaker et moi-même sommes allés dans une maison abandonnée près de l'église Sainte-Marie. C'était un endroit horrible et dégoûtant. Les rats se disputaient l'espace avec les derniers résidents des appartements décrépits. La plupart d'entre eux sont malades, les odeurs sont affreuses, affreuses. Dernier étage, le père Whittaker a trouvé un vieillard allongé sur un matelas crasseux qui toussait et crachait du sang dans un bol en bois. Le père Whittaker s'agenouillait près de lui et a prié pendant un long moment. Le vieil homme a semblé aller mieux, puis nous allons tous les deux aider à trouver la lumière. J'ai pleuré alors et je pleure au moment où j'écris ces quelques lignes car je n'ai jamais vu une âme si soulagée d'avoir enfin obtenu la rédemption. Le père Whittaker est un saint. Si ce n'était pas présomptueux, une expression d'orgueil coupable, je ferais le souhait d'être capable de sauver autant d'âmes que lui, car c'est un réel privilège que d'être témoin de tels miracles. Ce soir, nous nous sommes tous les deux rendus au bordel le long du canal. Ah, un bordel, un prêtre. Je dois admettre que j'étais terrifié à l'idée de croiser le chemin de Jézabel, mais les bâtiments ont été abandonnés depuis longtemps, les putains et les infections vont de pair, m'a expliqué le père Whittaker, mais leurs clients prennent vite peur lorsqu'ils entendent parler de maladies. Dans la dernière maison close, nous avons trouvé 2 femmes malades qui dormaient ensemble dans une position coupable sous des couvertures souillées. L'odeur était affreuse, une fois de plus, le parfum de Satan et de la maladie, m'a dit le père Whittaker avant de s'agenouiller et de prier pour ces 2 âmes perdues. Les femmes étaient si faibles et malades qu'elles n'ont même pas pu bouger lorsque j'ai versé le pétrole sur les couvertures. Leurs âmes sont maintenant purifiées. Putain, ils ont cramé. Le père Whittaker est un saint, je ne laisserai personne se moquer de l'homme vertueux qu'il est. Il devrait recevoir davantage d'aide et de soutien, mais comme tous les prophètes, il est esseulé. Il a besoin de plus de la part de ses disciples, il a besoin d'amour et de preuves d'amour. Demain, je retournerai au cimetière et je déterrerai plus de richesses pour lui. Les morts n'ont que faire des biens terrestres, mais le père Whittaker et moi avons besoin de manger. Ce soir, pour la première fois, c'était mon tour de mener la ronde. J'ai choisi de retourner là où nous étions rendus il y a 10 jours de cela, afin de voir ce qui restait. S'il restait d'autres âmes à libérer, père Whittaker a approuvé mon choix, puisque le travail de l'homme de bien n'est jamais fini et Satan ne dort jamais, m'a-t-il expliqué. Il m'a aussi dit que si je continuais à faire preuve d'autant de zèle, il pourrait bientôt me confier des missions, des tâches plus importantes. J'ai tellement hâte. 3 autres âmes ont été lavées de toute corruption ce soir. Si ce n'était pas présomptueux, une expression d'orgueil coupable, j'oserais dire que nous sommes sur la voie de grandes choses. Surtout sur la voie d'être mort. Ok, rendre compte au père Whittaker. Sortir du cimetière.
Stupid beast!
Je conseille vraiment vivement de mettre des marqueurs pour se retrouver dans la ville parce que c'est tout vraiment se ressemble et vite fait de son chemin. Alors, notre ami. Voilà, il est là.
Protection against malevolent.
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So,
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
Vous profitez de l'épidémie pour tuer en impunité. Vous n'êtes qu'un sadique qui se prend pour un sauveur.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
J'ai bien fait de récupérer l'argent avant de parler de tout ça avec lui.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you...
I said...
Voilà.
You sent a man to die because of a stupid vision. I have heard enough of your nonsense. Goodbye.
Enquête terminée, Sainte Croisade. Je vais juste regarder
Good
ici.
evening.
His father.
S'il me reste quelque chose. Putain.
What do you mean?
All's
Quite a...
for you.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your
Reste quelque chose à voir avec lui.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
On a tout vu avec lui.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Voilà pour lui. Alors j'avais essayé mais j'étais pas forcément arrivé à trouver tout le monde. Toujours à Whitechapel, on va essayer de guérir un maximum de monde. Petite séance
Good
guérison.
evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Moi qui vais vous aider.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Clayton. Il est là. On l'a retrouvé ici. Pas très loin de l'église.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in.
Donc lui, sa maison, elle est là.
Yes?
Bon shit.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Tiens,
Well,
votre
I
doc.
think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Whitechapel, toujours. Allez, de retour dans la zone de l'hôpital. Continue dans nos quêtes locales. Mauvaise cible. Découvrir qui espionne Thelma. C'est la personne qui se prend pour un vampire et visiblement elle se sent espiée. Je crois que c'est celui-là.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Tell me, Thoreau, What's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ah, lui également, j'avais des choses sur lui. Noir.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
Ok, ça c'était par rapport à la lettre qu'on a récupérée.
Can you tell me anything about recent events in the hospital?
Oh, goodness me. This whole story is such a shame, sir. I have no idea how it happened.
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones. Her body is missing. Someone stole it.
Miss Jones's body has gone missing?
Yes. The body was brought here this morning, and now it's gone.
Who could have stolen a corpse?
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day. Who could do such a thing? These are terrible and shameful times, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Ça a l'air d'être dans la zone, mais je suis pas sûr que ce soit lié à la mission. On va voir. Si.
Steady, boys! Die, vermin!
Mission de surveillance, poste de commandement de la garde de Préven, objet activité vampirique. Il y a 3 jours, une des nouvelles recrues a entendu une rumeur selon laquelle un vampire femelle se cacherait au Pembroke Hospital. Nous n'avons que son nom. Thelma, votre mission consiste à se rendre discrètement là-bas et observer toute activité suspecte concernant la dite suceuse de sang, puis de nous faire directement votre rapport afin que nous décidions des mesures à prendre. Mission de surveillance. Trouver le poste de commandement local. 120 mètres. Pas un souci. Je pense qu'il va y avoir un peu de castagne. Et alors je pense que j'y suis allé déjà par le passé parce qu'on avait découvert une lettre. Proche. D'accord. Trouver... Non, rassurer Thelma à propos des espions. D'accord, donc c'était ici en fait, alors quand je m'attendais à monter dans une maison et autres, mais non. Juste faire le ménage. Donc là, je faisais tout droit. Et ce vampire va pouvoir être rassuré.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
Personne ne vous cherchait, c'est un malentendu.
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a
bien
reward
servi.
for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll
Échantillon de
keep
sang.
that
Ah, c'est bien,
proposition
je vais
in
peut-être
mind.
pouvoir trouver des remèdes grâce à ça. Super, c'est où ce que ça a débloqué? Parlez-moi des vampires.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes.
Ah, on a tout découvert sur elle. Hein.
And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Vous souffrez simplement d'un désordre mental, on lui a déjà dit. Vous ne connaissez rien aux vampires, vous pourriez être en danger.
You are no vampire. You are a delusional woman, convinced she is something she is not.
How convenient to call delusional anyone who does not share your precious rationale, Dr. Reed.
Elle l'a mal pris. Mais bon.
I'll leave you,
pas grave.
Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Bien. Mauvaise cible, enquête terminée.